Hi there, my name is Dan Young, co-founder of Northern Lights Cedartubs. Today we're going to show you a short video on how we install and assemble a hot tub. We're going to use in this demonstration a 5-foot 5-inch diameter medium hot tub. To begin with, we're going to do 5 basic steps. Prepare the foundation, followed by staves and straps, the seat installation, treatment of the outside, and staining. And we're going to finish with plumbing installation. So let's get started. We've laid out the basic tools you're going to need for this installation, starting with a level, a sanding block, as well as a pencil, a special tool that will be supplied in your hot tub, a 13/16 socket, as well as a pair of vice grips. You should also have a dust mask with a countersink bit, a tape measure, a rubber mallet, not a hammer, cordless drill with a supplied number 8 Robertson bit, a set of cutting tools, either a saw or special PVC cutters, optional belt sander, and finally you will also find the owner's manual and a package of specialty screws, including all the bits you will need for this project. The tools you'll need for this step are a level, a pencil, a sanding block, the special fitting tool that's supplied with the tub, and an optional piece of chalk. So to begin with, we are going to position our tub on a level surface. That can either be a concrete pad or tightly packed gravel with paving stones. Once you have obtained a level surface, you can then begin with checking the outside of the hot tub to make sure that when you install your staves, they will all fit properly. Sometimes the humidity can cause swelling on the edges. You'll use a special tool, position it along the tub, take your pencil and mark a line. This line will be used in reference when installing the staves. If at any point your reference tool does not go on, take the piece of chalk, mark that spot, and you'll come back to that location afterwards. Use a sander and sand the top and the bottom of that area lightly. And test again with your fit tool. Once you have your floor all marked out, you're going to go to the center of the tub and mark a number 1. This is where your starting stave will go. You will need a partner for this step. This step begins with doing what we call a dry test fit. Then we will do the stave installation, followed by installing the straps. In the user manual, you will see the various positions of the specialty staves that are used depending on the tub size and the number of jets you have ordered. These specialty staves include the skimmer and suction, jets, and light. These have been labeled for you and they will contain pre-cut holes. You'll begin with the number 1 position you have previously marked, and this will be your skimmer and suction position. Position the staves according to the user manual and ensure that the staves are snug to the line that you drew in the previous step of preparing the base. The purpose of doing a dry test fit is to ensure that all the staves fit together tight and snug so that at the very end there's compression throughout the staves. This is important to give a tight seal. The hot tub is designed to fit perfectly based on pre-calculated engineered dimensions. However, during shipment, or if you let the tub sit for long lengths of period, the staves may develop moisture, and this can cause swelling of the staves, which then may need compensation at the end. As you come to the final few staves, if your fit is correct, there should be an overlap, which will be noticed by a V formation in the staves. As you can see, the last stave will not properly fit. This is a good thing. If the gap is too big, there will not be enough compression to form a tight seal. What you should notice in the last stave is a V will be needed in order to complete your stave installation. If when we come to the end, there is a very little V or no V at all, we need to refer back to the manual on the use of our compensation staves. 2 compensation staves are provided with every hot tub. If the V is larger than what is shown, we will also need to reference the compensation staves. In this video, we've purposely created a very small V, and now we're going to show how we add the compensation staves. What we do is remove 4 to 5 staves, then we will reinstall the staves, but this time by using the 2 compensating staves. You will notice that the first compensating stave is slightly smaller than the normal staves, and the other compensating stave is significantly smaller than the regular staves. By adding the compensation stave, you'll now see we've achieved an optimal V. Before you remove your dry fit, it's important to mark the staves with the 1-inch screws provided in the screw kit and insert them into every 7th or 8th stave. This is going to be used so that when we put our straps on, we have some support starting at the bottom, 2 1/4 inches from the bottom. The middle screw will be 20.5 inches from the bottom, and the top screw will be 6 inches from the top. Before you disassemble the tub, a small trick is to mark each stave in a clockwise direction, starting with the number 1, finishing with the number of staves involved in the assembly. Next, with your partner, remove each stave and place it in sequence. In the next step, we're going to install the staves, and we're going to use silicone to ensure a complete waterproof fit. This silicone is aquarium grade, designed for underwater applications. So here we start with stave number 1 in the number 1 position, and we continue the same as we did with the dry fit. There's a small difference when we're installing the staves at this stage. We don't want to tap them all the way in to the line we had marked. By doing this, we increase the gap at the end. We will not have the large V that we showed in the previous step, but it'll be much easier to assemble. To the end, as long as we have backed our staves out past the line, we've created a larger diameter, and we should have a mild V, which will make it much easier to put on the last stave. Using the screws to rest the strap will ensure that the strap is parallel, because you've previously measured out the distance on all staves. As your partner adjusts the straps and tightens the staves to the tub, you may notice that at the V, you create a counter V on either side. Once there's good firmness to the strap, you can bang that part out. And that will create an even radius around the tub. As the strap becomes tighter, your partner will take the rubber mallet and gently start to hammer the staves in along the stainless steel strap, holding the top of the board so as not to damage the stave and impacting on the stainless steel strap. This will ensure an even spread of the stave pressure across the tub. Proceed with the second strap, resting it on the screws. However, in this case, we want to stagger the connection joint so that they don't all line up in the back. By using the vice grips, he stops the threaded rod from spinning, and he'll alternate each side to ensure that the couplers go on evenly, inserting at the end as it gets tight the flat 12-inch band, and this will ensure that the straps do not dig into the cedar. You want to ensure the gap between the straps are the same. This will ensure that you have equal compression from the top, middle, and bottom band when you're done. The final step of our stave and strap assembly is to sand the top of the tub. We do this in order to get a fine finish so that water that sits on the top won't penetrate into the wooden staves. In this video, we've pre-assembled most of the seats according to the instructions that come with the seats. Generally, the step-in seat is 180 degrees opposite of our stave number 1 which is our skimmer and suction stave that we installed previously. Note that the center support there is lining up with the center line that we previously measured. 2 drills is helpful at this stage, one with a countersink and one without. But he's countersinking the screw hole and putting on his rear support bracket. And now the installer is pulling the seat back slightly, about 1/8 of an inch off the back of the hot tub wall. Countersinking the hole. Next, he's going to insert the lower seats, and he's going to mark the supports. So he positioned it in place, and now he's going to countersink his hole and fasten the seat support to the back wall. And he's now going back through the seats, moving them a little bit off, about 1/8 of an inch away from the wall. He'll drill 2, one on each side of the seat joint, going into the support bracket that he previously installed. Before we install our jets, we want to completely seal the hot tub from the elements. This is a personal preference. Most customers prefer to do this to keep the natural color of the cedar. If you don't apply a stain, what will happen is the cedar will turn silver gray very quickly. Depending on the manufacturer, we apply 2-3 coats. This is our second coat on this particular unit. It's very important to apply stain on the top, because water will sit in the top and could penetrate the grains internally. We find using a rag to do this will prevent spillage into the tub, as we never want to stain the inside of the tub where water and the bathers will be present. The plumbing consists of hooking up the jets, the suction, the bottom skimmer, and we're going to pipe it eventually back to our heating system. That heating system may be an electric hot tub spa pack, it may be a gas, it may be a wood-fired. And you'll notice that each fitting has a rubber gasket. That rubber gasket goes on the inside of the tub between the fitting and the wood and ensures a waterproof seal. We're starting with the bottom suction where he inserts it. There's a gasket on the inside of the suction. The back ring will be tightened, and using a rubber mallet and a flat screwdriver, we're going to manually tighten it some more. The helper inserts the light from the back or from inside the tub, and the ring is screwed around. And again, we will use a screwdriver and a rubber mallet to further tighten the back ring to the back side of the light. Insert the top skimmer and the back wall fitting. And now we're installing the bottom suction grate. This is used to stop hair and debris from getting into the plumbing system. And it has a few screws that we install. Then we will go towards the top skimmer, which is similar. It has a grate and a suction on it, and it's used to also stop debris and hair from getting into the system and clogging or damaging the pump. The next stage is installing the jets. We insert the jet through the hole and spin the back around. And what's important here is that the air intake is facing up. Continuing with the jets, you will notice when he's done this that they're at a slight angle as they're going to be connected, and each jet is at a different height. A can of glue is supplied, 1 or 2 cans depending on the complexity of the plumbing. The PVC glue should be done in fairly warm weather, not below freezing. It's important when you're doing the glue, you only have a few seconds before it hardens. And you'll notice he does a 1/4 of a twist. Next, he's going to put his T in there using his wire cutters or his pipe cutter or a hacksaw or an X-Acto knife. Any cutting tool will work. And putting ample glue on both sides. He's eyeballing it. If you look in the inside, it has an 1.5 inches in the inside. So there's a lot of wiggle room. Wiping off the excess glue as you go. Careful not to get the glue onto the tub. Now he's putting in a reducer to reduce it down from 2 inch to 1.5 inches on the bottom suction. Our plumber has pre-cut certain pieces of pipe, but you can find this in the instructions in the piping section. Now he's stubbing in an 1.5 inch piece of PVC pipe on the top skimmer, as well as on the bottom suction. Well, these pieces have been cut to specs according to the manual, so that when together, there will be a straight vertical line. Now he'll take a measurement from the inside of the gate valve to the bottom of the top skimmer, and he will cut a piece of PVC pipe that length. And he will make sure that it lines up to the bottom of the top skimmer. Now he's going to remove them both off from the bottom and the top. And an important step is to leave the 2 top and bottom skimmer pieces to the very end and do not glue them as you go. And this is the last step to connect your suctions together. The 2 suctions are now connected to the 1.5 inch T, and this 1.5 inch T will now be field installed and connected to the spa pack or the gas heater. The other side, in between there, is the jets. The jets are connected via a T, and this T, similar to the bottom suction, will be field installed and go back to the pump in the jet system, and the suction will go back to the suction part in the jet system. Now he's putting reducers to 3/4 inch, and these reducers are used to attach to air vents. And the air will be sucked in if the vent is open through the top and injected into the jet ports. And next he's installing the end caps, and the end caps just stop the water flow at the last top jet, as well as seal off the air suction on the top part of the last jet. The top of the water jet on the last jet will receive an end cap plug. However, unlike the other side, we're going to use an ozone assembly. Ozone is sucked in through a Venturi effect into this small port and injected into the water system, purifying and cleaning the water. In this video, we're going to show what would normally be done on site, field installed, after the tub is in place. The air vents are what suck in extra air, increasing the pressure from the jets. So what we install here above the water line is an air scallop that opens and closes and adjusts the amount of air intake. And this air scallop would sit either in a set of shelves, it could be in a deck, and by opening and closing it, we allow extra air to come into the jets, increasing the power of the massage. And this is an example of our electric heating system. It consists of a spa pack, and what our technician is doing now is he's field installing this on site, depending on the location you put your electrical connections, and he simply cuts flex pipe and installs it. First of all, I'd like to thank you for your purchase of the Northern Lights Cedar hot tub. I hope you found this video informative, and it's been a great tool to assist you with the assembly of your product. May you enjoy your hot tub for many years to come. Thank you from all of us.